Welcome to Resource Prepping. I'm your host, Greg. Today I want to talk to you about the silver bomb that is going to go off towards the end of the month. And when I say silver bomb, I am talking about being able to buy troy ounces of silver, just like this. Right now, the COMEX, the paper money, the paper silver, the speculators say silver is $80.25 an ounce. That's going to fluctuate all day long and all week long, up and down and everything else. Those are the speculators. The physical silver buyers, like myself and others, will buy a troy ounce of silver at what people are selling it for, because that's the real price. Right now, silver is going to buy it in hand and obtain it physically is $85 on up. Depending on what type you buy, you will be paying over $100 an ounce. And at the end of this month, the silver bomb is going to detonate for sure. How it affects you monetarily depends on the domino effect on the other banks that are still speculating, meaning like the COMEX buyers, selling long and selling short, betting on the up and down price, flooding it and fluctuating it and manipulating it on purpose. But they won't be able to do that too much longer, because the physical silver, physical silver is running out. And I'll explain to you how. On one of the talking head shows I was listening, Morgan Stanley, one of the largest banks in America, Morgan Stanley, as well as a stockbroker included inside that, has put out a memo to all its investors, billionaires alike, to get out of the silver market immediately. Sell everything and do not buy any more long and shorts, speculative trading on silver commodities. Stanley Morgan says we're done with it. We are selling everything, even if it's at a loss. Now, in order to do that, in order to put that memo out and send it to all its investors and buyers on the commodity market, it has to go through lawyers, HR, and the top executives, because if they're saying sell, 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 the bomb doesn't go off and they lose billions because the price rose, Morgan Stanley will be sued into oblivion by its investors saying, you lied to us, we sold and the price went off the charts and we lost money, so we're selling you, and they will be bankrupt by lawsuits. So this is something that they are very well aware of, the risk that is happening. As the average Joe like I am, you already see that on the spot market saying, I want to buy some physical gold. I want to hold it in my hand. I want to feel the weight of silver. I want to own this. Is already surpassed $85 and climbing to $90, $95, and $100, depending on what it is. The amount of this available, the physical silver, is running out. Right now, silver, this right here, this commodity, plus huge bars and everything else, is now tied with NVIDIA for second and third place. They bounce back and forth as the most valuable asset you can own. Gold being the largest asset to own, with a worldwide value of an estimated $43 trillion. Silver and NVIDIA are trading back and forth, depending on the buy and sell, for second place most valuable, and the other taking third and bouncing back and forth. NVIDIA is requiring huge amounts for its AI intelligence computer systems, as well as solar panels and as well as electric vehicles. Anything green requires silver as a conductor so it can be functional. That's why the demand is outpacing the supply. NVIDIA is fueling the cost of silver. So as a regular Joe, and you're saying, how can I get in it? Start looking at your bullion dealers, all of them, and find out what's available and what price you can afford. Pay your bills first. This is your extra money, if you have any. Pay your bills first. But read the headlines on all your bullion dealers, every one of them. Orders are slow shipping out because of the high volume of demand. That's your first clue right there. People are not believing the markets. People are not believing in the dollar. People are saying there's too much chaos going around the world, and here at home, I want a safe haven that I can rely on in case of emergency. So every one of the bullion dealers have put on top of that, due to excessive demand, shipping is slowed down. The reason why is these bullion dealers don't just have great big safes with 20 million ounces of silver to hold on to and sell and everything else. They have to buy it on the market to fill your order at the price they're stating. That's the real reason. Morgan Stanley, I beg your pardon, Morgan Stanley is telling all their investors, sell, sell, sell. No matter if you lose money or not, sell, get rid of it. We are not taking in any more orders for buying silver on the COMEX or anything else, period. The registered silver is what is actually available in the vaults. This is registered 1 ounce. So the banks are saying, the exchanges are saying, okay, in our vault we have, say, 1,000 ounces of silver to sell to the public. The rest of it is already being held by private investors and everything else, and they can't touch that. That's not for sale. So the registered silver, there's only 32 million ounces left. It was 48. The commodity markets, the purchasers, such as myself, they are taking 5 million ounces off the market each and every week, reportedly. At that pace, physical silver will be out by the end of the month. The people that are on the COMEX said, well, the spot price today is $80. Tomorrow it may be $75. It may go down to $60. Forcing panic selling on paper, driving the paper price down. But the physical price of this is going up. When the two don't meet, and there's not enough ounces to cover the buy and sell, they are forced into a mesure, meaning they can't cover your order, so they're sending you cash instead of silver. Force majeure. Paper contracts right now are 160 million ounces, but only 32 million ounces actually exist for the hard silver. So it's an illusion. People are now saying, 9% of the contract buyers, 9% saying, cash me out, I want my silver. 9%. If that rate rises to 15%, silver that's actually for sale will be exhausted in 3 weeks. The OTC, the over-the-counter market, the physical is buying more silver, causing the paper market to be short, causing force majeure, which is what I just covered. I'm reading my notes. Paying over-the-counter, paying out instead of paying out, let me slow down. They're paying out cash instead of silver because they are short on it. They oversold. Banks do not have enough cash to keep paying that out. So they went way long. There's not enough silver. So they're paying out cash, and now the banks are saying, wait a minute, we can't keep paying out cash to cover these contracts, and the Fed is no longer going to bail us out with taxpayer money. So the domino effect could go from bank to bank to bank, because all these banks lend each other money on a handshake, essentially, and saying, okay, we'll cover your losses, but you owe us plus a fee for bailing you out. Now the big banks are saying, wait a minute, we're long on our contracts. We've got to pay this out. We can't cover you. So just like in 2008, the domino effect with the people left holding the bag, like Lehman Brothers, is going to collapse. And it's going to be a tumbling effect. And how many banks did we see close? And the big banks that got off the mark and say, we're not taking any more silver contracts, we're sold it all. And when this happens, they can't be sued. It's a legal document saying, hey, we warned you to sell out. We told you a month ahead of time that the potential risk is huge, and we are advising you to sell all your silver commodities and get out of that market, and you didn't do it, so you can't sue us. We warned you, we told you, we published this memo. If these other banks didn't do that, the small guy is going to lose, and he's going to be forced to close into bankruptcy. The federal government is not going to bail him out. The Federal Reserve is not going to bail him out. That's why the silver bomb is set to explode. There is a finite amount of silver on the market right now, and with China shutting down, not exporting bullion or refined minerals, that puts a lot more pressure on it. And right now, silver is selling for $130 an ounce, physical silver in Tokyo, $95 in Dubai, $90 an ounce in Korea, and it's going up. When this happens, the paper may say $80, but the physical demand, the physical silver, will be $25 to $50 higher on the real market to buy it. And that's why I say $100 ounce is not impossible, but it will be an up and down roller coaster ride when people realize what's happening and they're selling their paper silver to cover their butts, causing the price to actually go down. And those people are saying, wait a minute, I better put my silver, my actual real silver, on sale to cover my paper. But once that happens, silver will skyrocket back up and keep on going. So I just want to warn you right now, if you are looking to buy silver and have a little bit of security, I strongly advise you, and this is your own risk, I'm not a financial advisor, this is your own risk. Pay your bills, pay your mortgage, pay your rent, pay your car payments, whatever. Any extra money, instead of going out for pizza night, date night, whatever you do with your extra money, I strongly urge you to look at buying physical silver as much as you can afford and sit on it. That's your safety blanket. When the economy starts to go south, and it will, Japan is now charging interest on their money, and they are selling U.S. debt, as is China. They're no longer buying our debt. We can't find anybody to buy our debt. That means the Federal Reserve, is going to print money, quantitative easing, which means it's going to devalue the dollar to cover our debt. We're buying our own debt with fake money. And the value of the dollar, and right now it's almost a dollar for dollar value. Once that starts happening, silver goes way up. They start printing money to cover the debt that's out there, and the dollar will devalue and you will see inflation come back. Right now, Trump has our trade balance cut in half and is de-escalating, so we're actually almost even. We have billions of dollars to go, but instead of being close to $1 trillion in unbalanced trade, he has cut that in half. And good for him, because that's going to save our butts. But the debt spending here in the United States you can't do it. Physical silver will be your savior. Thank you so much for liking and subscribing to Erie Shores Prepping. Subscribing being the key word. If you find this helpful, share it. Check out the bullion dealers. Look at the real price and the delays, because they have to find silver to cover my order. Greg out.